Welcome to Margin Business Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. In today's episode, we got Andri Sadlak. Andri is the co-founder and CMO of ProductPinion. Welcome, Andri. Thank you for making it today, Andri. I'm very happy to have you here on the Margin Business Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Let's dive into it a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, please.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. I'm happy to share my journey and hopefully it's helpful for someone else. Originally, I'm from Ukraine. I was born in Ukraine, but I've been in Canada most of the time in the last 8 years. And currently I'm in Vancouver, so West Coast, Pacific time zone. Definitely enjoying myself here, but I also love traveling. So you may find me in different places around the world. What I've been doing the last few years is pretty much e-commerce. So selling physical products online, selling on Amazon, growing my own brand, which I actually sold a year ago. And now I'm focused on three things: starting a new e-commerce brand, building a software solution for e-commerce entrepreneurs, and also scaling a mastermind that I'm hosting. So Mastermind for e-commerce entrepreneurs.
Okay, that sounds already really good. So your background, what is actually your background? So we can just understand a little bit how you got all the way to selling online, for example.
Yeah, for sure. Professionally, it's hard to say. It's very hard for me to explain what I do and what I've been doing because I tried different things, but I studied architecture and then I worked in logistics, then I worked in real estate development. And then they let me go and I focused on my own business. These are the major steps I had to take career-wise.
Okay. Architecture, so you really studied it or you...
Yeah, I got my bachelor's back home in Ukraine.
That's so different. I think it's the first time I have somebody who studied architecture. It's a very unique type of thinking, a type of the vision of objects and everything. It's for me, I'm completely amazed, because you have to have a very good memory and you have to understand the whole software aspect of, there is so many things about it. When I see the softwares, for example, they turn around, and you can see the exact. Yeah, it's amazing for houses or for buildings or for what was it mainly?
Yeah, mainly for houses.
Okay.
But interestingly enough, now that you say that, I see how it's connected to what I've been doing, because even the brand I sold was in home decor. So visual aspect of the business was critically important. And I think that's what I learned the most while I was studying architecture, how to make stuff functional and visually appealing. And now I'm doing renovations in my basement to rent it out through Airbnb, and I'm using the same 3D softwares to plan the space. I don't have to hire anyone and I can envision it before I build it, stuff like that. So it's definitely useful. And what I think I learned the most there is not really to be an architect, but to think outside the box.
Exactly.
As a student, you hang out with other students who want to prove themselves and want to do something cooler than somebody else, right? And you're always in that surrounding of people who want to experiment and try new things and impress you with what they've created, even if it's in a virtual space, right? And I think that 5 years of me experimenting with physical space, whether it's virtual or some small experiments in interiors, definitely gave me that drive to create things, and then as entrepreneurs, we always create things, and that's our mission.
Sorry to interrupt your video. I just wanted to let you know that I really appreciate you having you here today watching this video right now. And I wanted to let you know that Margin Business can help you to optimize and localize your listings for the European Union. If you have any questions, please contact us. info@marginbusiness.com. Thank you. Sorry, one more thing. If you enjoy our content, please hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Thank you and enjoy your video.
That's our mission, right?
Yeah, that's really good that we talked about this, because you can see then the things are coming out where you can see exactly the visual part, So the visual part for selling is super important, because when you sell home decor, for example, you need to visualize how people will have in the house. It's not just you buy yeah, I don't know, you buy a little cupboard which you put into the house, you know, and then it's good. No, there's a lot more things, you know. And there was a very funny test which Helium 10 has done. I don't know if you followed them. They did a test project. I was following it a lot because I just thought the idea is completely funny, you know. It was the shelf in form of a coffin. They called it the coffin shelf. Look it up when you have time. Look it up.
Okay.
And check out the that's really funny. And now when you mention home decor, you know, and that's what I was thinking about. You know, it's as well something which does not fit in every house, and you need really to have space in order to match it. So this is definitely something really good. Moving on from there. You mentioned Amazon seller, that you're selling on Amazon. Are you still selling at the moment, or?
Actually restarting, got approved for my new seller account because the new product is already in production. So yeah, definitely back in the trenches. I missed the game big time.
I can imagine. It's especially now. I mean, it depends, you know, where you're selling, but it's the competition is pretty hard right now. So depending on which niche you're choosing, you have to be very either have a lot of money or choose a very good niche, which where the localization comes as well into point. Because if you study your customer avatar and you find a customer avatar which is steadily buying and is actually not too broad, you can as well find something really good. But like I said, here we always search for the localization, which I'm sure you are pretty aware of, being from an international background as well. Is as well super important. And third, what you've mentioned, the Mastermind. This is obviously very interesting. Mastermind, how does it work? I mean, you talk with other sellers, and you just you give yourself tasks for the next week, and you just talk about this, give your numbers, and see how you progress, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So the idea behind the Mastermind is the accountability, right? We wanted to be surrounded by like-minded entrepreneurs who are in the same business, who understand the problems everyone's going through, and can provide support from their own experience, and as well provide that accountability. Because if I say to my friends that, hey, this week I'm working on this and this, and I don't achieve that, I feel very bad because I see them progressing and I want to also progress because that gives me happiness, right? So that's the whole goal of the Mastermind. But it all started while I was struggling with my own business. It all started over 2 years ago, probably close to like 3 years ago, when I wasn't sure how to scale my brand. And I basically reached out to a few friends I already made in the space, in the Amazon seller community. And I offer them to jump on weekly calls and report to each other and kind of held each other accountable. And from then it was evolving, and we created some rules to make it very efficient for ourselves. And as I was going through the sale and I jumped on a few podcast interviews, I had people reach out to me, basically asking if they can join. And since we already had a pretty packed group, we decided to scale it. I have 2 partners in this. So together we scale this. We had more people based on their seller level, basically skill level, and where they are in revenue. Because usually people with the same revenue numbers or similar revenue numbers have similar problems, right? So it kind of makes sense for you to be in a group with people around your level. At the same time, everyone can join every other tribe we have. And right now it's 4 tribes of different levels of sellers. We also have monthly calls, not only weekly calls. On monthly calls, we have experts who come in and share what they know about their area of expertise, which usually helps our sellers big time. And what's nice about those weekly calls, we have a very strict system for reporting on your goals. Basically, if you come to the call on a weekly basis and you report that you haven't achieved your goal this week, you have to pay a penalty in the form of a charity donation to any charity you choose. $50 for the first time. If you don't achieve your goal next week again, so second time in a row, then your penalty doubles. You pay $100 to any charity that you choose. And if you haven't achieved your goal for the third time, you're out. So very simple. And even if people pay for like a year in advance to be in a mastermind, that's still the rule, right? That's why we do progress, and we check also, we make sure that people tell the truth, just because that's what they're here for. Same with like celebrating the success. Like when people report that they achieve the goal, which is most of the cases, then we make sure that we clap, like we congratulate them and support each other to make it like a fun journey, you know.
I think the main point what you mentioned is the accountability, you know, because as entrepreneurs, we always, I won't say that we have free time a lot, but we are the masters of our time. So we are accountable for our time, what we're doing. So if we want to lay in bed and just don't do anything, nobody will come and tell us, listen, you cannot do that. No, but obviously we are accountable for what we do. So we have to progress, you know, and I think groups like this is definitely really good. I mean, myself, I kick myself a lot already, but I think even with a group like that, it would be even better, you know, because you cannot like on the same level as you have to report to somebody, you know. It's a bit different, and that's why I think it's a really good. The mindset behind just the word accountability is really good. I really like the idea.
Yeah, you're so right. It makes a big difference when you talk to someone and they know what you're going through, and they go through similar things, and they're like your friend. At the same time, they're also your role model, because in many ways they have done something you want to do as well, right? And telling them you're working on this and not work on this is like way worse than telling yourself that you're going to work on it and not work on it.
I mean, it's already bad for me, for example, if I tell myself, if I get up in the morning, I don't go to sports, for example, you know, that's already a broken, then I need to obviously to do it at night or somewhere in the day, but it's already a broken pattern.
Yeah.
It's a broken pattern. It's a problem, you know, that's going to hunt me all day. But sometimes there is no other way out, you know, because there's other obligations you have to do. And, you know, the day maybe starts normally at 6:30, but something comes in between, then, you know, it's a bit different. Yeah. So I understand this, but just in general, you know, the accountability part for yourself is already good. And I think nobody is, or there's very few people which are strong enough, which don't need somebody, you know, to
we're social creatures.
I mean,
we're social creatures. Yeah.
We can progress like 60%, 50%, you know, but with accountability, we can maybe increase, double it, or even 30% more. Even if it's 30% more, it's already good.
Yeah, I'll tell you my example. When I started this mastermind, it was very informal in the beginning. I had 2 SKUs on Amazon, so 2 products basically, or same product with 2 variations. And in about 1 year and a few months, I scaled it to 15 SKUs and exited the business for $500,000. So it definitely works, because all the time I was starting the business was about 1.5 years. And then the next 1.5 years or so, like my results skyrocketed, because now I had somebody to report to, right?
Exactly. So yeah, it's like I said, I can only really put the point on the accountability. You know, it's really good, because now after this call, I definitely will again look into my own accountability and try to improve as well, because, you know, obviously it's always a good point. The next point that I wanted to mention is the software. What I see at the moment, the trend is that every company, or a lot of companies, having softwares now, or creating softwares for the reason, not because everyone is doing softwares, for the reason that we get even more productive, and that we can that we growth hack, not really growth hack tools, but I would say like to help us to improve in our own business, and not with the idea like forcibly to help somebody else in the beginning, but maybe this comes later. This is for the fact for our business, for example. You know, I'm just thinking about my business at the moment, but I think as well for when it works for you, obviously it works for the others, for your customers as well. you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's exactly the same as selling, because you sell a product in order to change somebody's life, you know, in order to solve a problem.
Yeah. Solve a
So
problem.
here is the software that you're building solves a problem, most probably.
Yeah,
So
100%. I'm super passionate about this one. Like in a year after the exit, I didn't really have a clear plan of what to do, but I was like, yeah, the right thing will come. And surely it did. I talked to a lot of people. I had many ideas to work on, like new business ideas, many partnerships that didn't come to fruition. But this one was like, oh, this is the thing, right? As soon as I talked to my now partner, Matt, I was like, this is amazing because this is what I believe in. And this is what made me kind of successful anyway, but now I can do this at scale and help others through this tool, right? So what the software does, and it's called ProductPinion. So what the software does, it's basically an online surveying tool that e-commerce sellers use to rank and optimize their listings with real-time customer feedback. In other words, when I'm making a decision that's going to impact my marketing efforts, my listing, my images, my logo, brand name, whatever it is, I don't want to guess anymore. And this tool helps me get real people's feedback, real Amazon buyers, Prime members, or any buyers in the country you choose. Currently, we have US and Canada that we have access to. And these real people will go and vote and be like, hey, Andri, I prefer image A versus image B, right? Or I like this brand logo versus this one because of that and that. And now I can try and find patterns in those responses, in those comments, and understand my audience better. Because when I start a business, right, when I start a brand or when I launch a new product, I have assumptions and I try to prove whether these assumptions make sense, whether it actually solves that problem that I have in mind. But instead of having assumptions, I'd rather rely on people's feedback. So they tell me, hey, this is what I need. As long as I give them what they need, I'll be wealthy, right?
sure.
So that's the whole idea behind it. And in addition to like split testing thing that I mentioned, the software also gives our users UA, UX testing. So people can basically go through your, let's say, Amazon listing, your store, your website, but we're focused on Amazon sellers. So they go through your Amazon listing and they can tell you what they see there. They can tell you what's confusing, what's not. You can ask them specific questions. Let's say you ask them 3 questions like, is it clear what problem the product solves? Does it solve the problem you would be solving with this product? Or maybe is it clear why it's designed this way, whatever. Like whatever you're not sure about, you can ask those few things. People go through a listing and their screen is recorded. And as they go through it, they talk and you have that audio recording with it as well. And you can collect a few of those, watch them. We also are developing a transcription of it, so you can look for common keywords or patterns that you see everybody's mentioning. And that way you can optimize things the way you would never thought. Like split testing images, let's say, that's pretty easy, right? That's understandable, but very often you don't even know what needs to be improved, right? Because you're not your customer. And as a product developer, you have that curse of knowledge. So you think you know everything about it, but you don't. And like my partner, Matt, has a great example of having someone go through his listing and give him an idea that now is going to be a patented idea. So he went for a provisional patent. Hopefully it's going to be approved. But if it will be approved, it's a pretty popular product. It may make him millions, right? So those things you would never come up with that people who are your actual users can give you ideas for. Yeah, that's like, I'm super pumped about it because what makes me excited about it is just a couple of split tests could literally make the difference between thousands of dollars a month in sales to like hundreds of thousands, because you suddenly solve something nobody else does.
That's the thing as well, because now we have to, the split testing have to be informed for us in form of a kind of a test, you know. So we put, for example, photos on, we wait a bit, you know, it costs us time and maybe as well resources, you know, because when we put the listing on and we see, this photo don't work, you know, we change it, or so. I mean, there is split testing software out there, but it's not the same as you have just mentioned. You know, it's an Amazon listing. It's especially for
exactly.
Who are
that's what I was
Amazon.
doing too.
So this is
Yeah, the drawback of what you're saying is you put a new image on, for example. Let's say it's your main image, because usually that makes the biggest difference if you improve your main image. I was doing that a lot of times. Like I would put a new image, wait for a week, 2 weeks, and track my conversion, right? And see if people click on it more or less. But while I'm doing this, I'm losing rank if I guess wrong, right? So you're always guessing that way, and you're already experimenting. Like it's a live operation on your business. Like it's if you're like a doctor, you don't want to do that live operation and experiment and learn as you go. You'd rather experiment before and learn and apply the knowledge that you know for sure works.
Exactly.
Same here. Like you want to collect that feedback in advance to making the changes on Amazon, so you don't lose that rank, right? That's one thing. And also, just like I said, very often you don't even know what matters. Like somebody who's selling shower caps, one of Matt's clients, had no idea that people are looking for the correct size of it. Like they want to make sure their long hair fits in that shower cap.
Yeah.
So they didn't know. And as soon as they watched those video feedbacks, they're like, oh, that's person number 3 or number 5 that's talking about it. Like they're not sure if their hair is going to fit. Let me talk about this in my listing. Let me show that it is going to fit. And that was the whole topic of this listing moving forward. Conversion went up like crazy. They doubled, maybe even tripled their sales because they now know what matters to their buyers, you know?
I think the software is definitely something which is a changer, because, you know, I have not seen anything so far on the market like this. I mean, specifically for this, and specifically as well, when you operate in the European Union, there is not only one market, there is 7 markets.
Oh yeah, many markets.
Actually is. Right. So it's not like, you know, in the US where you have one market and then there is a customer segments and customer avatars, you know, this is a bit different, you know, but it's still very, very huge country. And it's as well, I think it's super hard. I think then in the US, you have to target per state, for example, or per city with ads, with outside ads, in order to, you know, to funnel everything, because it's just too broad, the whole US. So, you know, in Europe, it's different. Then it's different, you know, because we can upload the pictures per country. And your software, your tool would be really amazing for seeing this progress a lot faster. Because if you can imagine, if you have 7 countries and you need to test in every single country manually, it takes a lot of time, so it's really not ideal. So your software definitely is something I'm looking forward to. Is it already out or not yet?
We launched it. We finally launched the public beta after we had our mastermind basically use it for a while and give us feedback. The European markets are still in the works. It's definitely common if you guys are listening and you're like, yes, I need this to experiment with my ideas specifically in European markets. Send me a message. Let me know. I want to see how much demand we have for that. But definitely something we want to make happen in the foreseeable future, because it makes a lot of sense. And especially for people who are from the States. Like I know seller mindset for American sellers, they think whatever sells well in US will sell anywhere. But you have to cater it to a specific culture, and like every part of the world is a little different. Sometimes your brand name does not work because it means something in a different language, right? So you have to be very careful about the way you position your product and what you talk about to be considered like one of them, so they trust you enough to make a purchase.
Yeah, very good point. Actually, what you just mentioned there. Moving on forward from this, I have another question concerning your company. Now you're launching the software. I mean, okay, it's already a lot on your table. You know, there's a mastermind, you're selling, and there is a software. But where are you going? What's your plan for the next years a part of this?
Good question.
Or let's say the next months, you know, let's say the months after the software, you know, just to, you know, because years now with COVID and everything is really very hard to predict and very hard to say.
Oh yeah, it's hard to predict, but I always want to aim for the best and have clear goals. Sure. That's what we preach with the mastermind. Yeah, I think the main mission with the software is to help first of all, the first big goal for the next year is to help 1,000 sellers improve their businesses, and we say double their sales, because basically we have a guide with this software. So within the software, we tell you what you should be split testing, in addition to the ideas you can collect from those video feedbacks, right? Because we know things we have improved in our businesses. We are both Amazon sellers. We know what works, what matters. We don't obviously know all of the niches. So that's why video feedback is so helpful. But we do have a really good list of things that people can split test throughout many years. And that's why it's a membership, you pay monthly, use it all the time. And we do send you ideas for things to improve all of this time. So the goal basically is to help 1,000 Amazon sellers double their sales. And in the next year, we want to get to that number. Once that's achieved, then it's like a new level of thinking. We'll probably be scaling globally and going all in, maybe even attracting some more partners or investors if we need to. But so far we're bootstrapped. We want to make this happen ourselves. We do have enough experience in our opinion to make it happen. But yeah, the big goal, 1,000 users in a year. And now we're just launched publicly. So if any of you guys who are listening, you want to give it a try, know that if you join now, still end of 2021, probably by early 2022, you'll be able to grandfather the best rates ever. For sure, because from now on, it's only going to go up moving forward as we improve the service itself. Okay.
Tell me the software. Do you have a website already up where we can check out the website?
Yeah, 100%. Actually, there's a deal going on right now. If you guys Google ProductPinion, if you actually search it for productpinion.com/ecom, ECOM, you'll see.
I will put it here after the video.
Sounds good. You'll see a landing page with my partner Matt, giving a short video, basically asking you to sign up and schedule a call with him. He'll show you how to use it. Obviously, this is not scalable. So if you do still see this, then you're definitely early on. You'll have our full attention. We'll make sure that you get the most out of this software, because we will be with you, holding your hand, making sure you use it to the best capabilities of the software. So this is the deal. There's also a free test included. So if you do go and use this offer, so productpinion.com/ecom, there are 50 credits included, basically $50 worth of split testing that you can do right away. And with a call that you'll schedule with Matt, you'll know how to use this to the fullest.
That's really good. Very great offer. And to wrap this up, I really wish you best of luck with that. And I'm sure, like I said, I can already see that it's needed. And that is really something I'm looking forward seeing really live, and will test it definitely myself as well. One last question.
Thank you so much, Omar. Yeah.
Just a message to the world, to entrepreneurs, or to anyone who want to start a business. What would be your message?
It's always a hard one. I think the message would be, the world around us, the way it is not built by smarter people than we are.
Very good.
And if you see things that are not perfect, that's already the first big step to your entrepreneurial endeavors. And you can find a lot of things that are not perfect right now. There won't be perfect ever, but you can take charge, you can take part, you can be in charge of changing certain things. And as long as you do something every day and you develop those systems of consistency, you can change the world in your own way. And that feels freaking amazing when you do see the results. So that would be the message. Don't underestimate what you can do. A lot can be done. But just a year ago, I sold my business. A year before I sold it, I had no idea I could do that. And it's not like it's a huge exit yet. This is like the first experiment, first proof of concept. But for me as an immigrant, I probably made more money in that sale than my parents have ever made in their entire lives, right? And basically because I was not following what they recommended me to do in my life, but I was basically looking for problems to solve and was doing my best to solve them with other people too. Don't rely on yourself only. That's what I learned too. That's why I have partners with this software, with this project. I have partners with the Mastermind. I have partners in my new business, which is my wife. I love working with other people, and that makes a big difference too. So look for problems to solve. Don't underestimate what you can do. you can change this world in your own way, make it better, and work with others. Yeah, that's the message.
I will quote this, look for problems to solve, you know, to make it very short. I will quote this definitely.
Absolutely.
One of the
I like the consistency.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your insight. It was amazing, and yeah, great that you made it.
Absolutely.
Today. And,
thanks for having me.
Best of luck for your software, really. Thank you.
My pleasure, Omar. Thank you so much.